Welcome, everybody, to WIPT Studios, Channel 31.
And welcome, Impact Campers. Glad you're here.
Woo!
It will be a little bit different this year because we're kind of quarantined a little bit. And it is unusual. I mean, 29 years ago, we were in a room about 3 times this size and it was packed. And it's just us here. But it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And Todd, you going to tell us what's going on?
Yeah, so
Tell us what's going on, Todd.
Holly, why are you so close to me? So in March, we had the idea that this was probably going to happen, and we were really scared that Impact was. What is that noise?
Somebody, it's my dog or Here we go, go! Yay!
Here we go. Start over, real quick. No.
Just with your section. We're
Oh,
not
sorry,
editing
nice.
this at all.
No,
Go!
we don't have time to edit it.
Okay. Well, so we've been here since Friday, and we've been working. Well, actually, we've been here
From
since
Wednesday.
And we are trying our best to get as much content out to you as we can. Obviously, we had a we have a large vision, and hopefully it will come across to you guys. We are finding out we probably bit off more than we can chew, but we're going to do our best to make up for, what we lost. And we lost a significant week in all of our lives, and I know it has emotionally affected a lot of people. This morning I just I lost it because I miss being with you guys, and we're all missing something this week, and hopefully we know this isn't making up for it. We know this isn't ideal, but we're doing the best we can to do something for you guys, and because next year is going to be so awesome, and we just wanted to fill the gap. Skid, you want to say anything to the campers there?
Well, what? Oh. We do miss you. Especially this side looks really empty over here. But I will not be losing a ball race this year. That much I can guarantee.
That is not, we don't know that. We don't know you're not going to lose it. It has not been, we haven't figured out exactly what we're doing. You still could lose the ball race. We haven't decided it's impossible.
What are you laughing at?
Because you
It's
will
possible he's going to lose the ball race.
Because you will lose.
Well, I mean, we don't know. Listen, this is a good time to say that we don't have all the details worked out for the entire weekend. So there may be a ball race, there may not be one, but
I do.
whatever happens, it's going to be an unforgivable experience.
Well, I know some things aren't going to change. Mr. T is here. Bob Ross is here. Brewer's here. Brewer, you want to say anything?
Duo.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
And Jeff Walling is here. Jordan House is here. Patrick Chappelle is here. There's a lot of great people, and they've all been here working. Aubrey, McKenzie, and we brought in new people who
Big
helped
Jim.
us. Yeah, Big Jim Cox is here doing security, even though there's none of you are here, which is weird.
He checked all of our bags as we came in to record this video.
So, so just to give you a heads up, a little bit more. In the mornings, there will be counselor time where we ask some questions. The counselors did a really good job. Some devotionals, some personal devotionals. There'll be some quiet time in the morning where you can contemplate. There will be classes. We're going to have all the encounter class teachers that we originally scheduled to teach.
That's awesome.
And they're all going to do a 5 to 10
That's so
minute
cool.
encounter class for you. Also, morning impact's going to happen. We're a little stressed, but it's going to happen. And it's going to be 40 minutes that none of us will ever forget in the mornings. So that's going to happen. Go ahead, Skid.
No, I'll wait.
And then, and that's all in the morning. And then, in between the morning and nighttime sessions, there's going to be something called Impact Rewind. You want to explain that real quick?
Yeah, Impact Rewind is something we took, if you've been doing Impact, every year when it's over, we being David Driver, takes the week and puts it into one video. That video is sometimes an hour long back in the 90s. Sometimes in more recent years, it's been 2.5 hours long. And we sat down with different guests from the Morning Impact team or from the Impact family at large, and we watched those yearly videos together, experiencing the memories of years past and the magic of Impact. And it was quite an experience. So each afternoon, sometimes late at night, you'll get a chance to walk down memory lane with us as we watch an Impact video from 2006 or 2014 or 1999.
Some of you will watch yourselves being baptized.
It's really amazing how that happens at the end of every video.
And you'll watch yourself grow up, and you'll see friends that maybe you have forgotten about or haven't connected with in a while, and it'd be great to renew those conversations.
Yeah.
One thing that we hope that one of the benefits, and when we were trying to make, when we were trying to make this more exciting for ourselves, we thought about all the alumni who have been to Impact in the past, who will now get to experience Impact just like every other Impact camper this year. So I'm thinking back to all those teens that we saw grow up in those videos. We watched the 97, the other 99, and I was just amazed at all the teenagers who are in their 30s now, who I know as adults. In fact, I think I can tell the story. We kind of had a COVID close call here the first couple of days of Impact. And the doctor that we pulled strings to get tests for our people that had a close call is James Parnell, who in that video was a 7th grader. And so it's a pretty amazing how, the Impact family is and has grown. And so at nighttime, when you come to primetime is going to be, it's going to be something we've never done before. It's going to be almost a little bit of fun, a little bit of seriousness. And so we don't actually know what's going to happen with primetime because our buddy David Knox is taking that and running with it. And Rory, you're being silly. But I guess that's what
if David Knox, it means there may be some magic involved in prime time. Who knows?
And also at night there will be our usual worship and our keynoters, and we'll have discussion questions. And the skit is happening now. The skit will be unlike anything. Obviously, everything. And here's the mind-blowing thing, and and you can see God working through Impact in this way. This was our theme before anything happened. And we were doing a television station theme back in February, was the decision was made.
Yeah, before then.
And so I can't imagine, like our skit did not change. It's literally the same skit.
Yeah.
It's just being filmed now. And then after all that, after Rubio talks about the discussion questions with the keynotes, we will go to another Impact Rewind. And then you may want to check in every once in a while. There might be an Easter egg or two. Who knows? And so hopefully, Lord willing, it all comes together.
Use your TV guide. You can follow that. Obviously, some of you may be getting together with your youth groups to experience this, but some of you never been to Impact before. Maybe you stumbled on this link. Impact is in some ways a really big, amazing 3,000 person inside joke every year. You may not understand every joke that happens, but just know that this entire event is about bringing the kingdom to the earth, God's kingdom on earth. That was the vision from the beginning. That's what we're still trying to do. And so if for you out there in any way this week, for anybody out there in any way this week, the kingdom comes a little closer to your home or to your life or to your youth group, that this will have been a success. And by the end of the week, I think we will really know how to pull off a day of digital impact. Hopefully we'll never need to do it again, but we'll know by Thursday what we're doing. Just enjoy the journey with us. We are definitely enjoying it, even though it's one of those journeys where I've already heard a few times, are we there yet? And so we love you. We do miss you. You're very special to us.
Yes.
And we are praying that God will use this in your lives this week in a powerful way.
And let us know if you tune in, especially, sorry. Did you want to say something?
You just have them text you. Have them all text you if they tune in, Steve.
Steve,
Yes.
tell them your cell number.
Yes, 615.
Or just tell them to call the office of Campus Life.
Let us know, anything, social media, You can text us, call us, or, email us. Let us know. I'd love to hear from some that were here in the mid-90s.
Yeah, social media.
That
Tell
would be
us.
awesome.
Yeah, we want to
Yeah.
know you're watching.
Yeah.
And that's all we have time for.
Two things.
That's all.
Two
Cut.
things.
Go.
Oh,
Something I never thought I would say. I'm missing the smell of Axe body spray.
I'm glad we got that in.
But it's time for impact. It's an Axe body spray joke.
That was only one
Yeah,
thing.
what was number
the-
two?
number two.
We need a number 2.
We need a number 2.
We need it fast.
Well, I really am waiting to find out who the first baptism of digital impact is going to be. There's still going to be some of those, and God's still going to work in your life. And we really, really do miss you. And I can already wait. I can already vision what it's going to be like the first day of Impact 2021.
And one last thing is that we don't. You can follow along with the TV guide, but we may throw a curveball or two, let's be honest. So.
Sure. Just follow Impact LU on Instagram or Twitter and tag Impact LU if you're going to post a baptism. We want to know about that stuff or pictures. Please let us know.
And Sean White, who is our technical director this week, has asked youth groups to send in videos.
Yeah.
And believe me, we will use them. So send them in to Sean, and if you want to be a part of Impact, you can. Remember, Impact's got talent. Hopefully, youth ministers are sharing that information. Brewer wants to do a dance, and that'll take us.
Do a dance.
Brewer, get up and get in here and do
Hey,
it.
Brewer, let's go. Let's go.
It's time for Impact! WYP2, gentlemen, woo!
Give me a hug, Brewer. Hey.
Over the past 29 years, Impact has been a blessing to a lot of people. In fact, it's become a family of thousands who've experienced the joy of being together in the presence of Jesus.
In hopes of bringing the kingdom of God to this earth, Impact has sought to embrace and meet students from all different stories of life.
And while we have addressed a lot of those stories, we want to recognize the ways we have been silent and repent.
The Impact Stage has held voices which have spoken out against the darkness of this world, seeking to fill our hearts with the wisdom of God's Word.
Yet we have remained silent towards the hurt and pain caused in the hearts and minds of our Black and brown students.
Pain caused by injustice, the hurt of inequality, traumatic wounds left by racism and discrimination.
We have been silent regarding these tragic stories, and we are deeply sorry. These stories matter. Our Black and brown students matter. Black and brown lives matter.
The tragic deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and Botham Jean, and countless others. Stories that have been going on for centuries, tragic stories, have left us heartbroken.
However, we realize that just feeling sad or sorrowful is simply not enough. We're called to more as Christians, as followers of Jesus.
Because of this, we feel strongly that our Impact family know and hear from us that we are repenting of our silence.
So we're standing with and listening to and speaking up for our Black and brown brothers and sisters.
In seeking to do this, here is where we are choosing to start. We repent of our prejudice, discrimination, and racism.
We denounce all racism and racial injustice in every form.
We desire to listen and learn, to educate ourselves, and to do better.
We want to be a voice for the advocacy and empowerment of Black and brown lives everywhere.
Injustice and inequality are painful reminders that we are all in need of God's grace, mercy, and justice.
We pray in the coming weeks and months and over the years of living and growing together as an Impact family that real and radical change takes place in ways that makes the existence of God's kingdom a reality here on earth.
May His will be done. May His kingdom come.
That's all for us today on GoPo in the Enchanted Clubhouse. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!
Bye! See you tomorrow!
Hey, cut! Hey! That was fabulous, kids! That was nice work, gang. Nice work. Whoa! Way to go. All right. We're going to take a break here, but first of all, let me just say to you new kids, especially to you, what's your name? Jesse. Jesse! For a minute there, I thought I was looking into a mirror. We're glad to have you here on channel 31. Yes, it is Lou, the station manager, winner of the 1984 Davidson Award for Comedic Excellence. I just want to say that was some fabulous work you kids just did. So, we're going to take an hour for lunch and such. Don't ask me what the such is, but it's going to happen about 30 minutes after lunch. So enjoy. Fabulous work. Dude, a whole hour for lunch? That's right, Brooks. Hey, as the cameraman here at Channel 31, did you get all the shots we need? Oh, yeah. As always, Lou, perfection. Okay, all right. Well, good work, gang. Enjoy your lunch and such.
Lou, can I see you for a second?
Actually, no, not now.
Lou. We cannot do tacos on my show just because it's Cinco de Mayo.
is so perfect.
Hey, I always like those cheesy roll-ups from Taco Bell.
No, I just think it's unoriginal. Well, you know what, Blaze? It's your show. It's your kitchen. Do whatever you want to do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A whole hour for lunch.
Hey, penny for your thoughts, kid.
Hey, Mr. Bertrand. Where did your accent go?
Oh, kid, that's just an act for the show. And you can call me Blaze.
Yeah, I know. It's Blaze. I'm a big fan of the show. I love the title of Bringing Home the Bacon. It's really clever. Did you come up with that?
No. Some guy in marketing named Walling thought of the name. He's such a gem of a guy, let me tell you. Anyway, kid, what's got you down?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, I get it. Blaze gets it. You took a girl out on a date. You tried to take her to a movie, a walk in the park, held her hand, tried to give her a nice side hug. Then she said, come meet my parents. And you met the parents, and they didn't like you. They didn't like your haircut. You know what? I don't like it either. And then you're here, sad and crying because she doesn't want to be with you now.
No, I hate her.
Whoa, hate's a strong word.
She's stealing my spot.
I'm gonna need a little backstory on this.
I've been on the Gobo show since I was 8 years old. I'm the adorable Happy. I was a huge star. There were posters, buttons, there were even Happy Meeples. And then they hire Misty and her kid brother Paul, and all of a sudden everyone's tripping over their heels for her, and now she's this big star. She even did a Kmart autograph signing in the parking lot. There were like 400 people there at 7 a.m. to see Misty, not me.
So she's taken your spot?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I don't know, like, I've never really watched your show, to be honest. I know it's the big franchise show of the station and everything, but, I mean, wait a minute. What about that guy? What's his name?
Real name or character?
Both.
That's Ogden Frost Jr. He plays Alakazam. He used to be this big Shakespearean actor. He got his start in a touring production of The Tempest, but he couldn't get any work after that, so he's been on Gobo this whole time, and pretty much every day he asks Lou for some serious gig, but he can't seem to get it. And he might be my ticket out. I have an idea.
I mean, go on.
Well, Gobo's the really only hit show on the channel, no offense.
None taken.
And I just thought, what if Happy becomes Alakazam? Then I could stay on the show forever.
Kid, I mean, wait a minute. How old are you again?
I'm 25, but he can go on and have this big theater career if he wants. And I don't even care about real acting. I just want to be a star here.
Now listen, you've been on the show a long time. That's 13 years. I think it may be time to move on. Even Gary Coleman, like, not gonna be a kid forever.
I know. I'm 25 and I can't play a kid forever.
Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe in 30 years, adolescence will be longer and people will be living at home with their parents still, and it'll be crazy that 40-year-olds will be at home playing video games. I can't imagine. That's foolishness.
Well, thanks for listening.
Hey, no problem. You know what? You should go talk to Lou.
Yeah,
I think he'll listen.
I think I will. I'm gonna go talk to him right now. Hey, Brooks, is Lou in his office?
Yeah, man, but he's in a bummer of a mood. I don't think I'd go see him now. Something about Ogden, but double lunch, dude.
Hey, Pepper, is Lou in his office?
If it isn't the legendary Happy bestowing me with words.
I don't need your salt, Pepper. Just tell me, is Lou in his office?
Yes.
Can I see him?
No.
Why not?
Because he's in a meeting with some big executives from Blockbuster. They're talking about featuring Misty in some commercials. You know, Blockbuster, that really big company that's gonna outlast that ridiculous Yahoo that you wanted me to invest in.
It's important.
Oh, I'm sure it is. But you're gonna have to wait. Not so happy now, are we?
I wish I had one chance to go back and change something. I've never noticed this room before.
Welcome to the editing room. You have 9,122 videos. Choose wisely.
These tapes, they all have my name on them.
Yes, they do.
What are these numbers?
Each tape represents a single day of your life. You asked for help. I am the editor. I will edit.
Wait, what?
This is your one chance to change anything.
Is this a dream?
No.
I guess if I could go back and change something. This one.
Are you sure?
Yes.
That's all for us today at Gobo in the Enchanted Clubhouse. And you're watching Channel 31. See you tomorrow.
And cut! All right! Hey! That's what I'm talking about! Nice work, everybody! Oh, wow, kids, that's the type of excellence that we right here expect in Channel, come on, do it now, do it, come on, Channel 31! Yeah, you got it. Smiles, everybody. Smiles, all right. Hey, kids, Brooks, we've been doing this for what, 31 years? Yeah. Oh, that was amazing. You, my good man, you're going to be the next Fred Rogers. You just keep that up. That's great. Kids, you all have made 2019 the best year ever down here at the station. And I got great news. 2020's right around the corner. And oh, the possibilities are limitless. It's going to be absolutely amazing next year. You can mark it down. 2020's going to be, I don't know what you say, unbelievable. Boom! Yeah. So, guess what, kids? You worked so hard, I'm going to give you a whole hour for lunch and such. So enjoy your break. We'll see you right back here in 59 minutes and 58 seconds. Go!
A whole hour?
Yeah.
Man, we haven't had an hour lunch in like years, man. It's amazing.
Well, enjoy, everybody. Nice work, gang. Take care.
Lou, can I see you?
Oh, Annette. No, actually, no, I'm busy. Sorry.
So, it takes me 20 minutes to eat lunch. So that's like 40 minutes? What am I gonna do with myself? This is crazy.
Hey, Ned. Georgia and I are headed over to Chick-fil-A after this.
No, we're not.
We're not?
No, it's Sunday.
No!
Enough with the Anakin joke. It's so old. Right? Anyway, we're going to Popeyes because the chicken sandwich is better.
Oh, you did not just say that. I will kill you.
Hey, I'll pass today. I have a lot on my mind.
Wait, what? You want to talk to us?
Annette, what's going on?
Well, let's see. It's either her situation that she has with Molly or her Brant crush. I mean, seriously, the two of you are not compatible.
And that's what Georgia and I have been telling you about Molly for weeks.
Touche.
Are you sure you don't want to talk about it? Look, no offense, but I probably need more of a Gandalf/Dumbledore type.
Oh, magic, huh?
No, she means a wise soul.
I'm wise.
We're gonna go. Feel free to join us if you have the chance, but we'll talk later, okay? Let's go.
I'm wise.
Okay, bye. Oh, here comes Bran.
Good job.
Hey, Bran.
Lou!
What? Oh, Blaze! What's up, man?
Listen, man, look. We cannot do corned beef and cabbage on my show just because it's St. Patrick's Day. It's so
perfect is the word you're looking for, man.
Hey, what if you made Lucky Charms? Dude, they're magically delicious.
It's just unoriginal, guys. Unoriginal.
All right. Blaze, you know what? You worked here for a long time. It's your kitchen. It's your show. I trust you. Do what you want to do. Okay? All right.
Thank goodness. Oh. Hey, Annette.
Hey, Blaze.
What's going on?
I'm not really in the mood.
Oh, I know what's happening. I seen that new girl, Molly, and I get it. The two of you fighting over the same boy. That Bran knucklehead is flirting with everything that moves because she's got longer hair, lighter hair, whatever. But it's okay. I heard it all before.
No, wait, Bran's not flirting with her. That is not it at all. I just hate her.
Whoa. Hate is a strong word, sister.
She's stealing my spot.
What do you mean? Go on.
I've been on Gobo ever since I was 8 years old. I'm the adorable Annette. I was the star around here for as long as I could remember. There were trading cards, buttons, posters, even Annette fidget spinners. But about 3 months ago, when the boss's secretary...
Pepper, right?
Yes, Pepper. She asked me to tell Lou about her niece. I met Molly and agreed. She's talented. I put in a good word for her to Lou, and suddenly everyone fell all over her. Molly, she's a huge star now. She even did a TJ Maxx parking lot autograph signing.
Oh.
There were like 600 people there at 7 a.m. to meet Molly, not me.
So it sounds like she's kind of taking your shine.
Exactly.
Huh. Wait a minute. How old are you?
20?
Sister, that's 12 years. You've been in this business for 12 years. That is a great run.
I know, and I know I can't play a kid forever.
Yeah.
I think Ogden's going to be retiring soon. He's like 71.
So wait a minute. Wait. Oddly enough, I feel like I've had this conversation before. But go on.
You see, Ogden's some Shakespearean actor. He got a start with some touring group that was doing The Tempest, but could only get work on Gobo. You see, he asked Lou for a more serious gig about every day. I have this idea that Gobo is the only hit show, no offense,
None taken, dog.
on the channel. Maybe if the lovable Annette can become the first female Alakazam, I could stay on Gobo forever.
Forever? That's a long time.
Yeah, but I am 20, so how long can I play a kid?
Man, I wish I had your youth.
Thanks for listening.
No problem. You know what? I think you need to go talk to the boss.
Wait, the boss? The mysterious light? Have you talked to the boss?
No, I mean Lou. I mean, you need to go talk to Lou. I haven't, but that doesn't mean you can't go.
I couldn't.
You should.
Okay. You know what? You're right.
That's right.
I've earned this. I've given my entire life to Channel 31 and Gobo. I'm gonna walk right up to the boss's office and tell him what I'm thinking.
You go, girl. Let's go.
Oh, Lou!
Oh, hello there, Paul.
I've got some notes from the boss.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, nice. Okay, all right, okay. Okay, I think I figured out how this works, thanks.
Okay.
First of all, Paul, why are you bringing me these? Doesn't the boss normally have Mr. Hurt do all of his dirty work for him these days? Why does he have to call me on this phone? Why can't the boss just talk to me himself? No! Every time the red light comes on, I have to pick up the phone and talk to the boss. I just want to speak to the boss directly.
Look, I do what I'm told exactly like you, Lou. And I would suggest you start doing the same. You wouldn't want a visit from Mr. Hurt, would you?
Well, no, not exactly. Ever since that knucklehead, Mr. Hurt, showed up, my life has been completely miserable. What?
The light.
Oh, fabulous. The great and powerful Oz has something to tell me.
Are you gonna answer?
I'm gonna answer the phone. Hello, it's Lou. Yeah, oh, yeah, I got him. Well, I haven't exactly had the, okay, all right, okay, all right. I'll read the notes.
Brooks, is the boss in his office?
Who knows? Have you met that guy? Anyway, Pepper's in a really bummer mood, so probably not the best time. There's something about Ogden, but 39 more lunch minutes.
Hey, Pepper, is the boss in?
Seriously? You need the boss?
Look, I don't need a hard time right now. Just tell me if the boss is in. Please, I need to see him.
I'm sorry, the boss doesn't meet with just anyone. You of all people should know that. If you need the boss, you should contact Lou.
It's important.
Lou will tell Mr. Hurt here, the head of security, exactly what you need.
Look, Laz, the lady told you to get lost. I think you best be getting lost.
Bye-bye.
Oh, this guy, really? Every time I come in here and I try and see this mysterious boss, you are here, getting in the way. This big oaf always kicks me out.
I think it's time for you to be moving along.
Oh, do you?
Both of you.
Really? Well, I'll tell you something.
Yes, and right now, you're on some thin ice. I'm watching you.
Oh, am I really?
Move along.
Oh, well, look, I've got a heat gun. I'm melting the ice. Come at me, bro.
I wish I had one chance to go back and change something. Where's that music coming from? This door has never been here before.
Welcome to the editing room. You have 7,422 videos. Choose wisely.
Wait, all these tapes have my name on it.
Yes, they do.
What do these numbers mean?
Each number represents a specific day of your life. Choose one. You need help, I will edit it. I am the editor.
Wait, why?
Because you asked for help.
How? Why? My life?
Yes, of course. You asked for the help. This is your one chance to change everything.
Wait, is this a dream?
No.
Okay. So perhaps if I can change one day, a chance to start over, change this. Maybe this one? The day I introduced Lou to Molly. The day I lost my spot. She's not the star, I am.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, it happened. Everything all right? Are you all right? Good.
Okay, welcome to Impact Primetime. Now, this is technically not Impact Primetime because Impact Primetime is a different thing. This is more like Impact Live, like the first night of Junior Impact.
That's right.
So we're going to be doing some morning Impact type stuff. It's been a year since you've seen us do these kind of things, and so tonight it's a refresher course. And so here's Skid.
Hey, Skid.
What's up? Hey, everybody.
Do you have a matching? How do you feel about the matching mask? That looks really good.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Impressed. I just went with the University of Memphis mask. It's a buff that I cut some ear holes in.
Shout out to my
Cut
friend
some
Abby who made
holes
this
for
for
my
me
ears.
from an old shirt. I've got multiple shirts.
Oh, that's from an old shirt.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There you go.
Okay. Todd, yeah, keep going.
I feel like I'm on stage. I mean, this literally feels like the same, except y'all are extraordinarily close, which, as most of you know me, I don't
And
care
I
for.
want to look down here to see the North Atlanta people, and I want to look up there to see the Crossbridge folks.
And I want to yell the word Tennessee, so there's a huge pop from Tennessee fans. Anyways, yada yada. So Rubio, you had this crazy idea.
I did.
We're gonna watch. You don't have to get poopy now.
Okay.
I mean, we haven't seen it unfold yet.
Yeah, I don't actually think there's any reason to get poopy.
Okay, so Ruby, if you know my friend Rubio, which I would hope most of you do, sometimes Rubio is ambitious.
Can you look up the word sometimes, the definition of the word sometimes? I'm going to need to check that.
I get excited.
I think that's accurate.
In years past, it was me jumping all over the stage, hugging Skidmore. My knees won't allow me to do that anymore. Spoiler alert for those that will someday aspire to be 48 years old. But nowadays, I get ideas. And I go with them. And I had an idea. Actually, this is an idea most of you probably saw. Do you want me to set this video up right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you see the logo in the background. This is we're going to be tying into lots of television show things. So we're going to kick it to a video in a moment, but let me set this up. So most people here will remember that we did, we announced a couple of months ago, 7-ish weeks ago, 7.5 weeks ago, we announced that we would be doing Digital Impact because we weren't going to be able to be on campus. That decision was made for us. And I think we all understand now is probably the best thing. But it was hard. And I almost immediately thought, well, actually, it wasn't my thought originally. And it wasn't the Journal's thought. I'll just let you see whose idea it was. And then you're going to watch this play out over the week. I hope you enjoy. Roll the tape.
I'm sure it turned out well.
Well, how'd it go, Daddy?
You know, I think it went okay. I don't know. We just canceled Impact for everybody. How could something like that go? I hope it went fine. I hope so.
You know, it's just too bad that you can't take Impact to them.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? Yep. Too bad I can't take Impact to them. All right, Impactors! Listen, here's the deal. Obviously, we just announced that Impact is not going to be happening, and we're still a couple months away. CDC's made all these recommendations. We're going to be careful when we do this, but we are going to bring Impact to you. I've got a list. I've made a list. We're going to go alphabetical. Every single student that was registered for Impact, who just heard yesterday, I guess, was the Journal announcement. You guys have heard that it's not going to happen, and I know you're disappointed, but when this bus rolls around, you're going to be excited to know that Impact is happening. We're going to try and come visit every single camper. That's my goal. Starting with Charlotte Ardsma, North Carolina. That's where we're headed now, and then we're just gonna go down the list. Here it is, right here. But you can see the different things on there. You got pizza. Do you get a cookout? We brought the cookout for you. 9 Square. We got 9 Square over there. There's the Dora Experience. So the Dora Experience, if it lands on Dora Experience, you get tackled by Dora Air Mattress. You get an air. We brought some air mattresses, and you get one to keep until next year's Impact. And then finally, the Bear on a Bicycle Experience. I don't know if you can tell. Right back past Gary the Snowman, that's the original Bear on a Bicycle bike from years ago, and you're gonna get a chance to ride it. So, that's it. And we're gonna get started now. No time to waste. We're on our way to Charlotte, North Carolina. Impact on the road, here we go, yeah! Woo! I'm coming to your home! I can't stop the nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel good creeping up on you, so just dance, dance, dance.
So that was a high point.
It was a high, well, I mean, as you can tell, I'm pumped.
Yeah, you're excited.
And I'll just let the rest of it play out for you. Some of you out there, some of you watching this know what's coming, but don't spoil it for everybody else. Anyway, so now, no introduction for this next video, right?
Well, we kind of wanted to show you our reaction to finding out that this was going to happen on I think it was May 1st. You sent out a video on Instagram.
I think that's right.
May 1st.
I think that's right.
Yeah,
and you know, it's to say the least.
It was a sad day.
Everybody was hurting that day.
This is a dark moment.
It's been a hard year.
But let's, I just got into the Enneagram, right, as you've all found out, and I'm just going to dive into this. I'm a 4. I like enjoying, I get into my feels. I like feeling things. So
I remember where I was when I heard the news.
Yeah, so let's
the news that he's a 4 on the Enneagram.
No, that was just now.
I will say this: we decided how we would announce it using my journal to really, but there were board members who didn't know. I mean, they found out watching our Instagram feed how we were revealing it.
So let's watch
our reaction.
The reaction, a dark day in Impact history.
Huh. You may just be onto something there. Yeah. Impact Online. We could do it at the same time.
Are you kidding me? This is like the worst thing that's happened all year. Well, not the worst. It's like the 4th, the 8th, maybe the 15th or the 16th or the 23rd. It's like the 42nd worst thing that's happened all year.
Oh, brother. Why didn't Rubio send this to me? Why am I finding this out now? This stinks. What are we going to... Well, at least Skid won't lose the ball race.
So is it Skid's fault or Todd's fault?
It's got to be Skid's.
It's a bear on a bicycle!
Bear on a bicycle, bear on a bicycle, bear plus bicycle equals bear on a bicycle. He's a bear on a bicycle, bear on a bicycle, bear.
So let's do this. Can I find out? Text Skidmore right now if you sang the Bear on a Bicycle song while the video was playing. What's your cell phone number? Just tell him your cell phone number.
No, I'm not.
Does anybody know it? Do you know it?
I wish so bad he had memorized your cell phone number.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, anyway.
Hey, Dinox, tell me my cell phone number. What's my cell phone number?
Listen,
Hey,
but seriously, I
look
do
it up.
love the idea that out there, while this video was playing, there were people singing. And also, I love thinking, because this is one of the other things, Todd, that you may want to bring up. Oh, by the way, look who it is.
Right.
We got Brew Brew with us.
What's up, Brewer?
You want to say anything?
Duo. Woo! Okay, so it's fun. The Bear on a Bicycle videos, we always try to take people by surprise. So
Correct.
you never know it's coming. I'd love to know how many people knew in the middle of it that was a Bear on a Bicycle video.
Well, speaking of Bear on a Bicycle videos, we had a debate the other day with a lot of the Impact people. What's the greatest series of videos in Impact history? And Bear on a Bicycle is either number 1 or number 2 by most people. And so we wanted to show you, because most of you have not seen a lot of these Bear on a Bicycles, but what a lot of us consider probably the best Bear on a Bicycle we've ever done.
This video is incredible.
Let's roll the footage.
Dark Phone's on the 3rd floor. Try the phone thing.
You try the phone thing. Let me take him.
Oh.
Error. System malfunction.
Steven, do something. Try something. Anything else.
It'll work.
I have my phone. It's in my bag. Here, take the baby. Here it is.
Can you?
I'm trying.
Do you have a beeper?
I'm trying.
Can you fax somebody?
I can't get service. Really fast. Don't
Gold
break
level.
it. Oh, stop.
If I email someone, you think they'd get here in time?
Sure.
Will you climb to the roof? Can you climb to the roof?
Yes, I will.
Here. There's no ceiling. We can't actually get out of that ceiling. Unless you unscrew this light bulb. I think it really is not. It's open up. It's open up.
I'm so upset. We have to get out of here. We have to get out.
Help! Help! Help us! Please!
It's too hot to hug. It's too hot to hug.
We're running out of air. I don't know. You know, well, I'm just thinking about all the times we had together. 4 years.
I know.
These 4 years we've been married. This baby. Last 2 weeks of bliss. It's been wonderful. And I want to tell you that you have been. Wait a second. Is that a bear on a bicycle?
Are we using up all of our oxygen?
Bear on a bicycle. Bear on a bicycle. Bear plus bicycle equals bear on a bicycle. He's a bear on a bicycle. Bear on a bicycle. Bear.
Also, what's interesting about that video is that the male star, the husband in the video, the father. Oh, it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, Stephen. The father in that video has also been on the coffee house stage about as much as anybody other than the lead singer of Grits.
Grit.
Grit. Because Jetpack and then Jetpack UK and then the Nobility, all of those bands. I don't think Molten Lava ever performed on the coffee house stage. Stephen was also in Molten Lava. Anyway, amazing acting performance. Also, I don't think the word Alta Vista was used in the video. Maybe it was, but I laughed so hard when Stephen recommended using Alta Vista to search for a solution.
Did you bring your stopwatch?
I did bring it.
Check it.
I did. I don't have it with me. It's in my camera bag.
That's really
Actually,
odd.
I think it may be in the tub that I'm traveling back and forth. Oh yeah, there. Throw me my.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah. So
I think one of us should be actually.
No, I've got it. I've got the stopwatch. Thank you, Charity. And what's next?
Okay, well, we've got a brand new video to show, and that's a debut of. I don't want to go into anything.
Yeah,
what are you putting in my back? All right, so.
Roll the tape.
It's weird doing.
It's not. It's great. Enjoy.
Roll. Oh, roll.
So there it is. It just ended. Skid, any thoughts on that video?
Well, I'm sure I liked it, but I haven't actually seen it as we're recording this. I don't even know what's on the video, but I know the subject matter, so I'm pretty sure I enjoyed it.
Yeah. That was good. That was good.
That's great. I'm excited. Actually, I guess none of us have technically seen it yet.
I saw it being filmed.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be good. Didn't you tell me you were thinking about something earlier today?
I was thinking about something earlier today. Well, Journal, we're at it again. Impact starts tonight. Oh man, it's hard to believe, really. So many things have been canceled. It's like the world's a completely different place from the way it was last year. But some things are still the same. You know, walking around Lipscomb University yesterday, I realized I love this place. I love what it stands for. I love the people here. I love the memories I've made. You know, I probably shouldn't have worn my Harding. What's that, Journal? Look over there. Anyway, Journal, where was I? Oh yeah, I was talking about how magical this place called Lipscomb is. How magical this place called Impact is. And you know, sure, I mean, some things are different this year, that's obvious, but a lot of it is exactly the same. I mean, you know, last night I realized that I said the sentence, "I'll be in the three-faced baby room." I mean, where else do you get to say that? Nowhere else, Journal. Only at Impact. And Impact is where we celebrate Father's Day. And although I was talking to some people and it seems like Father's Day may be something that happens everywhere. I thought it was just an Impact thing, but that really surprised me. I don't think my dad was surprised. And the nutty Impact creative team has been working hard for several days already to make this happen, this digital online version of Impact. And it almost feels like normal. You got Bob Ross here, and Mr. T is here, and I even got to spend some time with Dora the Destroyer the other day. You know, maybe it's true what they say. Sometimes people's names are just names and they don't describe them at all. Like, some people named Harry aren't Harry. I got to be around her and she seemed quite lovely. Dora the Lovely. It doesn't have the same ring to it, so I can see why she's kept the other name. But my point is, there's so many of the same people here. maybe it really will feel just like Impact. I mean, Todd is here and Skid is here. We got the roadies here and the skit crew. Tucker and DeHurdy and D-Knox and Jay Moore and Medeiros and all the rest of the Impact Pump It Up crew. Aubrey's just as tall as he always was and as sarcastic. Maybe nothing's gonna feel different. Of course, there are no counselors and no campers. We're not together. Everybody's potentially watching it in their home. You know what? Can we change the subject, please, and get back to the joy of Impact? Oh, Journal, I'm looking forward to spending the week together. All right. Well, I guess you know this, but I'll tell you anyway. I love you, Journal. See you tomorrow. Yeah, that's
a little bit of a downer on some level.
You know, everybody's looking for silver linings
right
in all of this, but you just can't find enough silver linings to make up for the fact that we don't have students on campus with us to enjoy this together. So, it feels like now maybe the time.
No. Oh, come on.
Yeah, let's do it, y'all. Let's do it. Now may be the time. I don't know.
Let me just get out of frame.
All right, here we go. Brewer, would you do the honors here?
Okay.
Throw that lever and let's, yes.
There we go.
You did this. It was you.
It's amazing how much stuff we do that's like horribly depressing. Like, just,
Well, I just love imagining what might have caused the scenario to happen. Some of you have seen those episodes.
Well,
we're at season 4 now, so things are getting really good. Laura's
Wow.
old enough for some really interesting things. So maybe there will be another one of those this week. Who knows?
So
probably will be.
That's my guess. So what we're doing tonight, and we've gone through some fun videos because it's been a year since we have had Morning Impact. So tonight we're introducing a different concept for us, something called Primetime. And we've got David Knox here with us. You may have heard him sometimes.
Should we bring David Knox out here to let them look at his face just to see who we're talking about?
Well, that was what I was about to do.
Oh, you were about to do that.
Yeah, okay. So,
I think that was called an introduction.
So a lot of you know David Knox. He's performed magic on the stage in many ways, like acting and miming and things like that.
And comedy magic.
Yes. So David Knox is one of the most creative people on our team. And so what we're doing each night at Impact Primetime is we're going to combine a little bit of comedy with getting to know some of the...
I'm going to need to look up the definition of a little bit.
Just
sure.
get a selfie. So then we can... That was pretty good.
So I missed the joke.
Yeah,
is it
yeah,
time for
so-
Is it time for me to be real excited about David Knox coming out or not?
Yeah. I think so.
All right, David Knox.
Here, you're gonna have my spot, David.
Are you're not gonna?
Yeah,
play?
skid go off. Yep.
Oh. It's fun. We're at a two David Max.
No. So this is what's going to happen during the primetime segments at night is that we're going to talk about. We're going to have some fun. We're going to show some videos, but for the most part, it's going to be get to knowing the people that are invested in you, and basically sharing, their thoughts and their lives with us, and so you can get to know them a little better. And there's going to be people like Mackenzie Lewis, David Knox, people that you see on stage, but you also see in life your youth ministry friends and. Really bad.
Some of these people are your youth minister. Some of these people are on the Impact Pump It Up crew. Some of these people work behind the scenes, and you really wouldn't know them unless you already knew them. But they help make Impact happen. I mean, Impact wouldn't be here. It wouldn't be what it is without guys like D. Knox. Okay, so
is that weird?
This is David Knox.
It doesn't digest.
David Knox. Did you just swallow your gum?
He just swallowed his gum.
Isn't
before
that that's a myth, right?
Wait, it's a myth that you swallowed your gum?
No, I swallowed it, but I mean, it doesn't really.
I don't know. There are several doctors, like medical people, that go to church with you. If you're watching, would you just text D. Knox and let him know if it's a myth that when you swallow your gum, it's a bad deal.
I guess I've always assumed that was.
And we will update you later on this. So anyway, we've got D. Knox with us. D. Knox. So first of all, did Todd introduce you as the host or the director of Impact Primetime each night this week?
I don't think he officially said that.
Do we want to save that for later in this interview?
It may not be that you see my face every night. There's going to be lots of faces. I'm just kind of helping us pull it off and coordinate it and helping invite you to the conversations we're going to be having every night as a part of Impact Primetime.
So what we're going to do with this time is just try to have some fun and try to learn a few things and maybe take a trip down memory lane, maybe. So D. Knox, first question. What were the contents of your last vomit? Do you even remember?
The only time I throw up is when I get migraines. And typically it's just watery. It's just it's just because I'm drinking a lot of water to get rid of the migraine, and then when I finally vomit.
And I should say thank you to Morris Gregoire for the contribution of that question from his book Asking Can Be Fun. Do you have a question?
Yeah, the question I love to ask everybody is, what lunchbox did you carry as a kid?
I carried the only one I remember that actually had like faces and stuff on it was a G.I. Joe lunchbox.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah.
Knowing what you're having for lunch is half the battle. Okay, so when did you start coming to Impact?
2011 would have been my first Impact summer.
And you didn't come to Impact until you were hired as a youth minister here in town.
Hired at Otter Creek.
But if I recall correctly, that summer David and I worked together at the same church. So I do know that he started. Your first day was either late June at our camp, our summer camp that happens usually the week after Impact Single Tier, or it was July 1st. But in any case, you weren't yet employed at Otter Creek when you contributed your first video.
I did. I came up and spent the weekend, even though I was still employed at another church.
Wait. Should we show that video now? Should we show that video now? Maybe we'll just show a few seconds of the very first, if we can find it. And if we can't, we'll show a version of it. Of the first time we ever showed a D. Knox video at Impact.
Yeah.
No quieres escucharme. Ya te lo advertí. Mira, Juan. Dime lo tenía muy guardadito. Como entre el cielo y la tierra no hay nada oculto, pues. Hoy se le acabó el misterio. Oscar, escúchame bien. ¿Estás seguro de lo que estás diciendo? Porque hablar es muy fácil. Y levantar falsos también. ¿Pero qué te pasa, imbécil? ¿Me crees capaz de inventar algo tan grave en contra de nuestra propia hermana? Lo que pasa es que ustedes dos no ven más allá de sus narices. Tú, Juan, ¿a quién se la dota en esta bendita panadería? ¿Y tú? Nomás anda ahí de mandilón detrás de esa golfa, en la cantina. Y te estoy hablando, hombre. Qué bueno que llegaste. Qué bueno que estás aquí para que aclares las barbaridades que está diciendo este.
¿Qué barbaridades?
A ver, pues aquí, tu hermano Oscarito. Nos vino con el chisme de que... Pues de que andas con un tipo. Mira nomás. Perdóname, Livia. Pero pues ya en el pueblo todo el mundo lo comenta y... Dale con esa cochinada. Bueno. Livia. Tienes que decirnos la verdad. ¿Y ahora qué te pasa? Pues que ya no nos tienes confianza. Te hemos fallado como hermanos. ya no nos quieres.
¿Cómo no los voy a querer? Y ustedes han sido todo para mí.
Para mí, con el corazón te digo, olvidemos el pasado y lo que diga la gente, la verdad.
Ah, genius idea. That is almost Dr. Pooh genius right there. Which we will not take time to watch.
I take full credit for the awfulness that was.
Do you have a favorite Impact memory? And then, David, get ready for like a searing, probing into the soul. Teens are going to learn something from Denock's question. But what's your favorite Impact bit of all time, or your favorite Impact skit, moment, or your favorite Impact video?
So to think real quick, my favorite thing I was personally involved in was the very first time we did the mime, only because none of you had seen me before I came on stage, and it was just so much fun to watch that happen, and that was a very last minute.
We didn't even know it was going to happen.
We had.
Were you a mystery guest?
No.
Was this not Race Against Mime?
It was Race Against Mime.
Oh, yeah.
You knew the bit, but no one had seen me.
Yeah.
And it was just really fun.
This was where Todd. This was another one of the Rubio harebrained ideas where Todd had said, "Come up with like a minute to win it type game called Race Against Time." I misunderstood him and brought a mime with me to race against. So we had David race against an actual camper, I guess 2 campers, one from each side. And we had jelly and peanut butter and bread and a knife. And the race was to see who could make and take a bite of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich first, which of course you would think.
Turns out a mime is pretty good at that.
Actually, the mime lost bad because he's a perfectionist.
Yeah. Well, and I took time to wash my hands, and
it was really funny. Dave is a great mime. So anyway,
that was one of my favorite spiritual moment. I think it was last year in the skit, watching Patrick and Chamberlain hug at the end of the skit. Oh, man, yeah. And I don't have time to explain the context, but it was an incredibly emotional moment. Just a reminder of what kinds of things can happen in our hearts through watching things like that unfold.
Great stories. Really, yeah, that's good. That's good. Oh, David, give us one final question. I think is this the 5th one?
I don't know.
Is this the last question? Or? Okay.
Dave, my question is, aside from all the stuff that happens on a screen at Impact or on a stage at Impact, there are those moments that we're all going to miss this year because we miss all the jokes and the worship and all those things are great. But what is an example of a moment or even a specific story of something that happens that nobody at Impact even knows happens because there's not a camera on it, nobody's broadcasting it, that you just say, that's what Impact is?
Yeah. I think for me that's group devos. That's those moments that it's just with you and the people you're closest to and the conversations that get to happen in those moments. And I can think of some very fond memories of being with my Otter Creek group and conversations that we had or certain prayers over certain people that happened. And so I think that's what I'm going to miss the most is the chance to gather with the teens that I know and love. I love all the teens that are in Impact, but there's a certain group that I love more than others because that's my family. And so I'm going to miss those moments of processing what's happening at Impact with them.
So those groups that are actually having maybe some smaller watch parties or larger watch parties, or even if you're just watching at home with a few friends, you can still have moments like that. You can still have those devos, and some of you are about to have those.
Yes, absolutely.
So why youth ministry? Why did you get into youth ministry is a partnership with parents and teens, all about spiritual growth. I mean, tell us why? Why?
When I was in 8th grade, I knew I wanted to be a youth minister and never really had any other plan. I just remember having conversations with one of my best friends, and we both decided we were going to be youth ministers. And he didn't, but I did. He bailed on me. But that's all I had ever really wanted to do. And it was because of things like Impact. I didn't go to Impact growing up.
Yeah, what camp did you go to? Did you go to a camp?
I went to one in Arkansas.
Okay. Me too, Wildwood.
Yeah. I went to Uplift. But I also did my own church camp.
I should have seen that coming a mile away.
My church did our own church camp at Nayati and at Valley View and Maribah and a number of different camps. We rotated every year.
I like the fact that somebody watching this that's not an Impact, just possibly right now, an 8th grader said, "You mean you can decide in 8th grade that you want to be in youth ministry and start preparing for that?"
Yeah.
That's
And it
really
affected
cool.
the direction of how I spent my high school life and my college life. It really did, because I knew that's what I wanted to do. So.
And you decided. Would you say you decided or you were called?
I think a little bit of both. I think I decided it.
That's cool.
Because I knew. It seemed like when I decided it was because I thought, oh, I get to go to camp every summer. That's awesome for the rest of my life. But I think it grew into a calling as I began to put myself in places where I could have that calling affirmed.
Now, there's a pretty good chance we do not have time for this, but if there was one video moment from Impact or video or something that we could throw in here right before the very end of this segment, which again, I don't think we have time for, what would you want to see? Or what would you want to show them?
Oh, man.
Like, is there a magician moment over the years that makes it snow that you would want to show everybody right now, or no?
There's been a few make it snow moments.
We didn't even talk about
the
your
floating table.
Yeah, there's been at least 4 floating tables. So no, nothing.
I wish I had thought through that answer to have a better answer.
It
other than
really
watching-
doesn't matter because we don't have time to do it.
Yes, we do not.
But so let's hear it for David Knox. I love imagining that you're out there clapping.
Excited to spend this week with you.
Okay, that's it. So that's essentially, Todd. That's it. We're out of time for prime time.
That's right. We need to go to worship.
And we're kicking it to worship. So, hey, Jordan House, why don't you come on up here and get us ready for worship?
He's not here.
Yeah. I was going to play the...
Sorry.
I was just going to roll. All right.
The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel, for attaining wisdom and discipline, for understanding words of insight, for acquiring a disciplined and prudent life, doing what is right and just and fair, for giving prudence to the simple, knowledge and discretion to the young. Let the wise listen and add to their learning, and let the discerning get guidance. For understanding proverbs and parables, the sayings and riddles of the wise. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. They will be a garland to grace your head and a chain to adorn your neck. My son, if sinners entice you, do not give in to them. If they say, "Come along with us," let's lie in wait for someone's blood. Let's waylay some harmless soul. Let's swallow them alive like the grave, and whole, like those who go down to the pit. We will get all sorts of valuable things and fill our houses with plunder. Throw in your lot with us, and we will share a common purse. My son, do not go along with them. Do not set foot on their paths, for their feet rush into sin. They are swift to shed blood. How useless to spread a net in full view of all the birds. These men lie in wait for their own blood. They waylay only themselves. Such is the end of all who go after ill-gotten gain. It takes away the lives of those who get it. Wisdom calls aloud in the street. She raises her voice in the public squares. At the head of the noisy streets she cries out. In the gateways of the city she makes her speech. How long will you simple ones love your simple ways? How long will mockers delight in mockery and fools hate knowledge? If you had responded to my rebuke, I would have poured out my heart to you and made my thoughts known to you. But since you rejected me when I called, and no one gave heed when I stretched out my hand, since you ignored all my advice and would not accept my rebuke, I, in turn, will laugh at your disaster. I will mock when calamity overtakes you. When calamity overtakes you like a storm. When disaster sweeps over you like a whirlwind. When distress and trouble overwhelm you. Then they will call to me, but I will not answer. They will look for me, but will not find me. Since they hated knowledge and did not choose to fear the Lord, since they would not accept my advice and spurned my rebuke, they will eat the fruit of their ways and be filled with the fruit of their schemes. For the waywardness of the simple will kill them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. But whoever listens to me will live in safety and be at ease, without fear of harm.
My son, if you accept my words and store up my commandments within you, turning your ear to wisdom and applying your heart to understanding, and if you call out for insight and cry aloud for understanding, and if you look for it as for silver and search for it as for hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom, and from his mouth come knowledge and understanding. He holds victory in store for the upright. He is a shield to those whose walk is blameless. He guards the course of the just and protects the way of his faithful ones. Then you will understand what is right and just and fair, every good path. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. Discretion will protect you, and understanding will guard you. Wisdom will save you from the ways of wicked men, whose words are perverse, who leave the straight paths to walk in dark ways, who delight in doing wrong and rejoice in the perverseness of evil, whose paths are crooked and who are devious in their ways. It will save you also from the adulteress, from the wayward wife, from her seductive words, who has left the partner of her youth and ignored the covenant she made before God. For her house leads down to death, and her paths to the spirits of the dead. None who go to her return or attain the paths of life. Thus, you will walk in the ways of good men and keep to the paths of the righteous. For the upright will live in the land, and the blameless will remain in it. But the wicked will be cut off from the land, and it will be the unfaithful that will be torn from it.
My son, do not forget my teaching, but keep my commands in your heart, for they will prolong your life many years and bring you prosperity. Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and a man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil. This will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine. My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline, and do not resent his rebuke, because the Lord disciplines those he loves as a father, the son he delights in. Blessed is the man who finds wisdom, the man who gains understanding, for she is more profitable than silver and yields better returns than gold. She is more precious than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with her. Long life is in her right hand, and in her left hand are riches and honor. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who embrace her. Those who lay hold of her will be blessed. By wisdom the Lord laid the earth's foundations. By understanding he set the heavens in place. By his knowledge the deeps were divided, and the clouds let drop the dew. My son, preserve sound judgment and discernment. Do not let them out of your sight. They will be of life for you, an ornament to grace your neck. Then you will go on your way in safety, and your foot will not stumble. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. Have no fear of sudden disaster or of the ruin that overtakes the wicked. For the Lord will be your confidence and will keep your foot from being snared. Do not withhold good from those who deserve it when it is in your power to act. Do not say to your neighbor, "Come back later, I'll give it tomorrow," when you now have it with you. Do not plot harm against your neighbor who lives trustfully near you. Do not accuse a man for no reason when he has done you no harm. Do not envy a violent man or choose any of his ways, for the Lord detests a perverse man, but takes the upright into his confidence. The Lord's curse is on the house of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the righteous. He mocks proud mockers, but give grace to the humble. The wise inherit honor, but fools he holds up to shame.
Listen, my sons, to a father's instruction. Pay attention and gain understanding. I give you sound learning, so do not forsake my teaching. When I was a boy in my father's house, still tender and only a child of my mother, he taught me and said, "Lay hold of my words with all your heart. Keep my commands and you will live. Get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget my word or swerve from them. Do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. Wisdom is supreme, therefore get wisdom. Though it costs you all you have, get understanding. Esteem her, and she will exalt you. Embrace her, and she will honor you. She will set a garland of grace on your head, and present you with a crown of splendor. Listen, my son, accept what I say, and the years of your life will be many. I guide you in the way of wisdom and lead you along straight paths. When you walk, your steps will not be hampered. When you run, you will not stumble. Hold on to instructions, do not let it go. Guard it well, for it is your life. Do not set foot on the path of the wicked, or walk away from evil men. Avoid it, do not travel on it. Turn from it and go your way, for they cannot sleep until they become evil. They are robbed of slumber till they make someone fall. They eat the bread of wickedness and drink wine of violence. The path of the righteous is like the first gleam of dawn, shining ever brighter till the full light of day. But the way of the wicked is like deep darkness. They do not know what it takes them to stumble. My son, pay attention to what I say. Listen closely to my words. Do not let them out of your sight. Keep them within your heart, for they are life to those who find them, and health to a man's whole body. Above all, guard your heart, for it is wellspring of life. Put away perseverity from your mouth. Keep corrupt talk far away from your lips. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Make level paths for your feet, and take only ways that are firm. Do not swerve to the right or to the left. Keep your foot from evil.
My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Listen well to my words of insight, that you may maintain discretion and your lips may preserve knowledge. For the lips of an adulteress drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil. But in the end she is bitter as gall, sharp as a double-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps lead straight to the grave. She gives no thought to the way of life. Her paths are crooked, but she knows it not. Now then, my sons, listen to me. Do not turn aside from what I say. Keep to a path far from her. Do not go near the door of her house. Lest you give your best strength to others, and your years to one who is cruel. Lest strangers feast on your wealth, and your toil enrich another man's house. At the end of your life you will groan, when your flesh and body are spent. You will say, how I hated discipline, how my heart spurned correction. I would not obey my teachers or listen to my instructors. I have come to the brink of utter ruin in the midst of the whole assembly. Drink water from your own cistern, running water from your own well. Should your springs overflow the streets, your streams of water in the public squares, let them be yours alone, never to be shared with strangers. May your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth. A loving doe, a graceful deer, may her breast satisfy you always. May you ever be captivated by her love. Why be captivated, my son, by an adulteress? Why embrace the bosom of another man's wife? For a man's ways are in full view of the Lord, and he examines all his paths. The evil deeds of a wicked man ensnare him. The cords of his son hold him fast. He will die for lack of discipline, led astray by his own great folly.
My son, if you have put up security for your neighbor, if you have struck hands and pledged for another, if you have been trapped by what you said, ensnared by the words of your mouth, then do this, my son, to free yourself. Since you have fallen into your neighbor's hands, go and humble yourself. Press your plea with your neighbor. Allow no sleep to your eyes, no slumber to your eyelids. Free yourself, like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, like a bird from the snare of the fowler. Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. How long will you lie there? When will you get up from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a bandit, and scarcity like an armed man. A scoundrel and villain, who goes about with a corrupt mouth, who winks with his eye, signals with his feet, and motions with his fingers, who plots evil with deceit in his heart, he always stirs up dissension. Therefore, disaster will overtake him in an instant. He will suddenly be destroyed without remedy. There are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked schemes, feet that are quickly to rush into evil, a false witness who pours out lies, and a man who stirs up dissension among his brothers. My son, keep your father's commands. Do not forsake your mother's teaching. Bind them upon your heart forever. Fasten them around your neck. When you walk, they will guide you. When you sleep, they will watch over you. When you awake, they will speak to you. For these commandments are a lamp. Teaching is a light, and corrections of discipline are the way of life.
keeping you from the immoral woman, from the smooth tongue of the wayward wife. Do not lust in your heart after her beauty, or let her captivate you with her eyes. For the prostitute reduces you to a loaf of bread, and the adulteress preys upon your very life. Can a man scoop fire into his lap without his clothes being burned? Can a man walk on hot coals without his feet being scorched? So is he who sleeps with another man's wife. No one who touches her will go unpunished. Men do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his hunger when he is starving. Yet, if he is caught, he must pay sevenfold, though it costs him all the wealth of his house. But a man who commits adultery lacks judgment. Whoever does so destroys himself. Blows and disgrace are his lot, and his shame will never be wiped away. For jealousy arouses a husband's fury, and he will show no mercy when he takes revenge. He will not accept any compensation, but he will refuse the bribe, however great it is.
What's up, Impact Campers? Jordan House here. As we head into worship this week, I know we're not all together, but we're still able to worship our God and lift up our voice. Whether you're in some sort of small group or you're alone at your house or in your room, we're about to go back to Impact Senior 2018 and sing a few songs together. And so tonight, let's think of all the reasons to praise our God, how He is the good Father, the sustainer, the one who continues to hold us up. And let's lift up that praise to Him. Let's engage in worship.
Sing now, deep cries out to you, deep cries out to you, we cry out to you, Jesus. Oh, deep cries out to you, deep cries out to you, we cry out to you, Jesus.
We're going deeper tonight. Turn to someone beside you and say, I'm encouraged when you sing. And tell someone else, you sound amazing. And one more time, tell someone, I can't wait to worship tonight. Shout hallelujah, shout hallelujah, shout hallelujah unto the Lord. We shout hallelujah, we shout hallelujah, shout hallelujah unto the Lord. We sing aloud to God, let the people shout before His throne. Hallelujah, sing aloud to God, make a joyful noise unto the Lord. Everybody, we shout hallelujah, we shout hallelujah, shout hallelujah unto the Lord. We shout hallelujah, we shout hallelujah, shout hallelujah unto the Lord. From the ends of the earth, from the ends of the earth, from the depths of the sea, from the depths of the sea, let all creation praise His name. From the ends of the earth, from the ends of the earth, from the depths of the sea, from the depths of the sea, let all creation praise His name. Come on, and shout hallelujah, we shout hallelujah, shout hallelujah unto the Lord. We shout hallelujah, we shout hallelujah, shout hallelujah unto the Lord. We shout hallelujah, we shout hallelujah, we shout hallelujah, we shout hallelujah unto the Lord. Who breaks the power of sin and darkness, whose love is mighty and so much stronger, the King of glory, the King above all peace, who shakes the whole earth with all its thunder and leaves us breathless in awe and wonder, the King place, that you would bear my cross, you would lay down your life, that I would be set free. Whoa, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Who brings our chaos back into order, who makes the orphan a son and daughter, the King of glory, the King above all kings, who rules the nations with truth and justice, shines like the sun in all of its brilliance, the King of glory, the King above all kings. And we sing, this is amazing grace, this is unfailing love, that you would take my place, that you would bear my cross, you would lay down your life, that I would be set free. Whoa, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. So clap your hands, all ye people. Shout, come on, Impact! With a voice of triumph, clap your hands, all ye people. Sing for joy unto the Lord. Come on, and we're singing Alleluia, Alleluia, and Alleluia, Alleluia, and Alleluia, Alleluia, and Alleluia, Alleluia. And Jesus Christ is the Lord of all, Lord of all the earth. Jesus Christ is the Lord of all, Lord of all the earth. And Jesus Christ is the Lord of all, Lord of all the earth. Jesus Christ is the Lord of all, Lord of all the earth. So clap your hands, all you people. Shout, come on, with a voice of triumph. Clap your hands, all you people. Sing for joy unto the Lord. Because we're singing Alleluia, Alleluia, and Alleluia, Alleluia, and Alleluia, Alleluia, and Alleluia, Alleluia. And Jesus Christ is the Lord of all, Lord of all the earth. Jesus Christ is the Lord of all, Lord of all the earth. And Jesus Christ is the Lord of all, Lord of all the earth. Jesus Christ is the Lord of all, Lord of all the earth. Amen. All right, raise your hand if you accidentally hit someone in the head with your elbow on that song. Anybody? At Junior, it was just crazy slaughter. But y'all are more talented. All right, we did this song last year, and it's about God's greatness, His awesomeness, and as we layer in the parts, we want you to sing it with your part, and it starts with a bass.
God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with the wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God.
Now, sopranos.
Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven with the wisdom,
With power and wisdom. Our God is an awesome God. Our God is awesome. He reigns from heaven with power and wisdom. Our God is an awesome God. Our God is awesome. He reigns from heaven with power and wisdom. Our God is an awesome God. Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven with power and wisdom. Our God is an awesome God. Now when the sky was starless in the void of the night, our God is an awesome God. Spoke have not too quickly forgotten. Our God is an awesome God. Yes, we know that He's awesome. Our God is awesome. And He reigns from heaven with power and wisdom. Oh, our God is an awesome God. We know that He's awesome. Our God is awesome. And He reigns from heaven with power and wisdom. Oh, our God is an awesome. Raise it up. Our God is an awesome God. Come on, everybody, pair of hands. From heaven up with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome. Yes, we know that He's awesome. Our God is awesome. And He reigns with power and wisdom. Oh, our God is an awesome God. And we know that He's awesome. Our God is awesome. And He reigns with power and wisdom. And our God is an awesome God. Our God is an awesome God. Our God is an awesome God.
Amen. He's so good to us.
Wow, Jordan, what a great treat to hear you singing here at Impact, An Awesome God, one of my favorite songs. Hi, I am Jeff Walling, and I am so thankful to get a chance to talk to you tonight about a subject that I think is super important. Now, before we get there, I know that Impact, for those of you who have been before, if you've been to Impact, raise your hand. Yeah, even if you're sitting in your living room, go ahead and do it. If you've been to Impact before, you know there are things you're going to miss, right? I mean, I'm going to have to order my own pizza. I can't just go out in the lobby and get it because there's no pizza in the lobby. And I'm going to have to put inflatables, I guess, I don't know, out in my yard or something. But what we're trying to do with Impact this year, and thank you, Todd and David and all the team there, is to say what's important about Impact is the messages that get shared and the learning that takes place. So, here we go. I know that COVID's been a shock, especially for the seniors who miss their proms and who miss their graduations, but I do thank God for one of His great inventions, TV. How many have watched way too much TV during the shelter-in-place COVID? Yeah, right, exactly. I have binged, I'm afraid, on Netflix shows and Amazon Prime shows. But I have to tell you that this wasn't TV like I had it when I grew up. You see, when I grew up, we had real TV. I mean, TV with channels. Only we had like 7 channels, and that was all. In fact, many of my favorite programs you guys may never have even heard of. Here, check this out. How about this one? Dennis the Menace. Yeah, Jay North. It was a great show. You can look it up. It's somewhere on, I don't know, Nickelodeon might have it. Or how about this one? Gilligan's Island. A ship set sail on a shore of this. Some of you don't even know that song. Okay, you've got some homework to watch Gilligan's Island. But one of my favorite, and this is a deep cut, was a show that starred David Carradine, and it was called Kung Fu. Yep, back in the day, it was a white guy playing an Asian martial arts character. His name was Caine. Actually, his full name was Kwai Chang Caine. He was the orphan son of an American guy and a Chinese woman raised in a Shaolin monastery in the Hunan province and trained by Master Po. No, he wasn't a little fox like he is in Kung Fu Panda. Master Po was an old, blind, but brilliant Kung Fu teacher. And he is the one who coined the term, choose wisely, grasshopper. Yeah, if you've ever heard that, it came from this show back in the 70s called Kung Fu. Caine was trained there, and when he got old enough, he left. But in all these flashbacks throughout the show, you saw him turning to his master. Master, what does this mean? Snatch the pebble from my hand. Anyway, you'll understand if you ever take a look at the show. He wanted wisdom, and he knew where to get it. He got it from Master Po. Now, in our culture, Master Po has a whole lot of different names. Where shall we turn for wisdom? How about to Master Google or Siri or Alexa? Because you can find almost anything you need to find out right there on your phone. The problem is it's really not wisdom. Now it's knowledge, because Siri or Alexa or Google can show you almost how to do anything you want to do, but what they can't tell you is what you ought to do, is real wisdom. Let me give you an example. So I got on Google and I decided to look something up. I looked up how to cheat on a test. Now I'm going to show you a couple things I found, but do not do these. It was amazing that there are all these websites that say, here's brilliant ways to cheat. Take a look at this. Just put the answers in your jacket. Or another way of securing the answers, you can just print off a fake label and put it on a bottle, and then you've got it right there. Now, one of the ones I thought was extremely creative was this. She wrote those formulas for math on her nails. Or this guy who has tennis shoes that have emblazoned in the bottom of the tennis shoes mathematic formulas. But nobody was as creative as this particular cheater. Okay, you have to look at the pic. Yeah, it looks like his hand's on the desk, but look right down there below and you can see he's got his phone down there and he's reading off of it. Thank you, Google. Thank you for showing us how to cheat. Problem, Google, cheating isn't how we want to live. But Siri, Alexa, Google, they don't worry about that kind of thing. What they want is simply being able to say, here's how to do whatever it is that you want to do. And by the way, when I said Siri, I think my phone woke up here in the auditorium. That is too funny. So, we're going to spend some time this week in Channel 31. Now, the 31 stands for the 31 chapters in the book of Proverbs. And WIPT, Wisdom in Proverbs. Now, before you go to sleep or tune me out and say, oh, no. You're telling me we're turning to a 3,000-year-old book written by Solomon and David and others? You bet you I am. Because some of the best wisdom that you're going to come across is found in the pages of God's Word. Now, for a second, let's ask this. How can you tell if something is really wise? You know, oh, that's a wise idea, right? Well, there are 2 or 3 ways that in our society people say, oh, that's wise. Some say, well, it's wise if it works. So long as it works, it's a wise idea. Well, the problem is that things like cheating and lying and bullying can work for a little while, but I don't think any of us think they're good ideas. It's not enough simply to say, hey, look, that worked, so it was wise. You can lie to your folks and it might work once or twice, but you're destroying your integrity. All right, I don't want to get off on that. So if it works, that doesn't necessarily mean it's wise. Others would say, well, it's wise if it's popular. You know, if everybody's doing it, it can't be bad, right? Wrong. You don't have to think long to go with me down the road of, well, everybody's drinking. Well, everybody's having premarital sex. Well, everybody is fill in the blank. My grandma's thing was, well, if everybody was jumping off the roof, would you jump too? Now, most of us, I think, are wise enough to go, no, that's stupid. But then again, I've been on some mission trips and some youth group trips where one of the guys said, I think I can jump off of this roof into the pool. And others said, we'll do it too. Stop. Just because everybody's doing it, just because it's popular, does not make it wise. Having said all that, what is wise? I'm going to suggest that wise is what's good for your whole life. That's what the proverb writer would say. Follow along as we listen to the way the book begins. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel, for gaining wisdom and instruction, for understanding words of insight, for receiving instruction in prudent behavior, doing what is right and just and fair, for giving prudence to those who are simple, and knowledge and discretion to the young. Did you catch that? Specifically, Proverbs is for you. Proverbs is a way of watching the wisdom test in action. Now you say, what's a wisdom test? The wisdom test is this. You pour time over any decision and see what happens. Imagine I had here a cup of time and I poured it over your decision to cheat on a test. Well, if I pour time over it, I find that as you move forward in time, you may look back and regret that. In fact, it may set you up for a lot of bad decisions. Starting a drug habit. Yeah, pour time over that and you say, oh man, don't go there. Think back to the future. Proverbs is a kind of time machine for wisdom. Proverbs says, let me tell you where you'll end up if you go down this path and where you'll end up if you go down this path. You all remember the Back to the Future movies. Surely you've at least heard about them, where Marty McFly got to see what his future was going to be like, got to see what his past had been like, and because of that, he was able to make some pretty good choices. Great movie, by the way, by Michael J. Fox. So, what about you? What if you could go back to your third grade self? If you could slip up to your third grade self and give him or her some advice, don't you think your third grade self would be pretty wise? Especially if it's coming from someone who's been down the road and you say, dude, don't do the gallon challenge at Impact, even though everybody else in the dorm is doing it, right? Aren't there certain things that you could tell your younger self not to do? Or how about this? If you could access an older, wiser you, wouldn't you want to? Wouldn't you want to find out what that you who's 30 or 40 or 50 or 60? Well, that's what Proverbs is. Proverbs says, come here. Listen, my son, he says, because I'm going to give you some wisdom that will bless your life. Now, I've only got a couple of minutes, and I'm only supposed to do the introduction, so we're just going to stick with chapter 1, the very first chapter. There are 3 things the first chapter hits right off the bat. Recognize God's authority is the start of wisdom. Second, choose to listen. Choose wisely, grasshopper. And number 3, trusting God is often an unpopular choice. And we're going to take the Back to the Future approach to this, and we're going to go from 3 to 2 to 1. Let's see if you remember what they were. Number 3, trusting God is often an unpopular choice. The proverb writer begins his introduction of wisdom by saying these words, my son, if sinful men entice you, do not give in to them. That's Proverbs 1:10. Now, why all of a sudden does he start out with, if sinful men entice you? Because he knows the way of the world. Anybody remember the old Disney classic, Pinocchio? When Pinocchio gets on Pleasure Island, dude, man, he and his buddies are going to smoke cigars and play pool, and before you know it, they've made a donkey of themselves. At least that's what Walt Disney thought anyway. You see, the crowd has ideas. The crowd has plans to get rich quick. The crowd has plans to take advantage of others. The crowd is cool with breaking the rules. I mean, I'm sorry, but you just look on TV recently and you can see that even though there were many wonderful nonviolent protests, there are people in the crowd who just can't wait to break the rules and take something. Why does it happen? Well, because we're all broken and busted. Because maybe we start choosing to not recognize God as God and make our gut our God. Paul says this in the book of Philippians, chapter 3, verse 19, their destiny is their destruction, speaking of people who don't listen to God. Their God, I love this line, is their stomach, and so their glory will be their shame. Paul's reaching back for some wisdom from Proverbs, and he says, let me tell you, if you let your stomach, your gut be your God, the gut God wants what the gut God wants, and the gut God wants it right now. Any of you who have ever tried to build muscles or to lose weight or to get healthy or to stay on a diet or to eat right, know that, oh man, the hot light is on at Krispy Kreme, or you're standing there getting gas and you see right there in the gas station office, they're selling chocolate bars. Yes, my gut says, oh, I want this and I want that. But my brain, the wise part of me, says, tell your gut to shut up. Your gut may tell you that you want to smart off to a teacher or your parents. Tell your gut to shut up, because the gut God, well, that's what the crowd often runs by, and it will get you in trouble. It looks so good, right? Just think of Adam and Eve making that choice that messed everything up. Here's the way the proverb writer describes it. If they say, "Come along with us. Let's lie in wait for innocent blood. Let's ambush some harmless soul. Let's swallow them alive like the grave and whole like those who go down to the pit. And we'll get all sorts of valuable things and fill our house with plunder." Wow, this is a gang. This is a bunch of thugs. This is a bunch of guys or gals who are like, yeah, you know what? We'll just break into somebody's house. We'll just find somebody weaker and take advantage of them. We'll take that kid's lunch money and then we'll have money. No, the proverb writer says, just because all your buddies say, "We're going to do this," my son, he says, if the crowd, if sinful people entice you, do not give in to them. But why, wisdom? Everybody's doing it. Here's what wisdom says. Let me show you the future. My son, do not go along with them. Do not set foot on their path. Then he says, these men lie in wait for their own blood. They ambush only themselves. Such are the paths of all who go after ill-gotten gain. It takes away the life of those who get it. Oh, it's a brutal passage. He says what they're doing when they're beating somebody up, they're just beating themselves up. When they're stealing from somebody, they're stealing themselves. When they're shedding blood, it's their own blood they're standing in. And ultimately, whatever they got by lying and cheating and stealing, it's going to take their life away, their joy away. Yeah, we used to have a program called Scared Straight, where they would take teenagers to prisons and let guys in prison basically tell this Proverbs tale. Dude, this is how I got involved. Don't get involved. Don't be in a gang. Don't do drugs. And you get to walk out of the prison, but they're stuck there. Some of them because of one bad move. Some of them because of one bad choice. The proverb writer says that doesn't have to be you. You've taken the ride to the future. You've been in the DeLorean, right? You've gone to Channel 31 and you've seen the movie that says, I don't want that. Well, then what do I do instead? Well, number 2 in the chapter is very simple. Choose to listen. Here's how the writer puts it. Listen, my son. I'm going to say that first word one more time because it's hard for some of us. Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. The first word in the proverb writer's speech, listen. All right, our time is short, so I just got to be straight with you. Folks, we don't listen when we think we already know it all. We don't listen when we think we've already got it all wired. Let me put it this way. Have you ever had a friend that had basically wisdom earmuffs? Here, let me show you. I've got my noise canceling headphones here. Let me get them on the right way. Now, when I put these things on and hit this little button, I'm just faking it, but that's actually what they do. They're amazing. I can get on a plane with these bad boys. I don't hear anybody talking. I don't hear anything. I love it. But guys, we can wear these when somebody, a dad, a mom, a youth minister, a teacher, tries to say, listen, this is what you need to do. And the proverb writer says, don't wear them. Don't put that on your head. Listen, my son. Choose to open your heart. And you say, well, who do I listen to? Well, that's number 1. We've already said that number 3 was trusting God's an unpopular choice. Number 2 is instead of trusting the crowd, we're going to trust God by listening to Him. And that comes by, number 1, recognizing God's authority is the start of wisdom. And here's probably the most famous verse in all of Proverbs, and it'll be the last one we look at. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Now, this fear of the Lord is not cowering in fear. This fear of the Lord is not, oh no, God, I'm so scared of you. But it is honoring God and recognizing an appropriate fear. Do you catch that? A fear that makes sense. If somebody goes dashing across a freeway, you're saying, wow, there's cars flying. That's crazy. Why? Because it's appropriate to fear running across a freeway. It's appropriate to fear heights. Somebody says, I can't believe you're such a chicken. Dude, it is stupid not to fear if you're standing right on the edge of a cliff. So what does the proverb writer say? He says the key is choose who to fear. Fear the Lord, he says. He's God. He's in charge. He's the one that runs heaven, and He's the one that says, yep, hell. So instead of saying, well, I'm going to do it my own way, the proverb writer says, listen, be wise. At the end of that road is a mess. It may be very popular, but instead choose to listen in fear, in respect, in awe of God. Choosing the right person to fear means you don't have to fear anything else. It's my favorite story, and I'll tell it fast. When I was a little kid growing up in Los Angeles, my dad wanted to make sure we knew what farm life was like, and so he brought home one day a box filled with little baby chicks. And we started raising them. We put up chicken wire in our backyard, and right there in Downey, California, a part of Los Angeles, in about a 3-foot by 9-foot section of grass, we had our own chicken farm. I went to school that year and told all the kids over the summer, hey, we started a chicken farm. No way, yeah. They'd come by and see the chickens as they grew. It was such a cool thing until one day when I was sent out to do my chores on the farm, right, this whole 3-foot by 6-foot farm, I moved the chicken wire, and one of the chickens, as they had grown, we determined was a rooster. As a rooster, when I came into the pen to put their food and water down, and realized I'm like 2nd or 3rd grade at this point, this rooster all of a sudden swole up like this. I mean, he just shoved out his feathers, and I was like, whoa, man, that's pretty cool. But as I walked in, I didn't realize the rooster was telling me, back off, Jack. This is my territory. Get yourself out of here. He was showing off, maybe for all the hens, I don't know. What I do know is that I just thought, oh, that's cool, and I walked on in, and so the rooster ran at me, flapping his wings, bringing his feet up, and if you've ever seen a chicken's feet, you know they have these spurs on the back. Well, when he flapped, it scared me so that I stepped back, tripped on my laces, and fell on the ground. Now I'm sitting, and this thing is running at me. They call it flogging, and flying up in the air, and pointing these things at his feet right at my face. I scream. This chicken is demon-possessed. I gotta get out of here. I turn and I run and I dash into the house, and I'll never forget running into the house crying and saying, Dad, Dad. And my dad, what's wrong? Dad, there's the chicken, the rooster. He's demon-possessed. He tried to kill me. My dad asked me one question. Did you close the chicken pen before you ran out? I thought, oh no. I left the chicken pen open. That means that demon-possessed rooster could have gotten out, and now he's going around the neighborhood killing children everywhere, and I'll be responsible. My dad said, get out there and close that chicken pen. And I said, but Dad, what if the chicken's out there? And he said, Jeff, I told you, get out there. Now I'm looking up at my dad, and I'm a 3rd grader and not a very big one, but when my dad said, get out there, I immediately, without thinking, said, no way! My father leaned down and said, excuse me, what did you say? Now, my dad really wasn't hard of hearing. When your parents say, excuse me, what'd you just say? They're probably saying, do you really want to say that to me? And I realized what he was saying. As a kid, I remember saying, but Dad, I can't. And he said, yes, you can, and you will. But Dad, no. And then he turned, and I remember he grabbed a newspaper and rolled it up. I thought he was going to pop me with it, which my dad didn't do. Instead, he shoved the newspaper in my hand, grabbed me by the shoulder, and frog marched me all the way out to the chicken pen. Well, the rooster hadn't gotten out. I had dropped the feed thing, and feed was all over the ground, and the rooster and the hens were having a buffet. But when the rooster saw me, he swole up again and ran out of the chicken pen towards me. And I thought, no, it's all over. But my dad had my shoulder and had his hand wrapped around my other hand and just went bang like that with the paper when that rooster flew at me. That rooster got knocked back, and the poor thing didn't have enough sense to quit. He jumped up again and thought, oh, and tried to flog me. And again the second time, bang, we just knocked him back. Wow, I gotta say it felt good. I wasn't trying to torture the animal, but I'm just defending myself. In fact, the third time when he jumped up and started to run at me, I just said, never mind, Dad, I got this. Come on. It's like the Matrix. Bam, and knocked him back in there, put that chicken wire down, looked at him like, I got you, I got you, I got you. And then I turned around to a dad who was smiling and who said, well done. I put the newspaper in his hand, and I knew I'd made the right choice. You see, when I was standing in the kitchen crying, I was afraid of the rooster. But when my dad said, I'm telling you this is what you're going to do, I realized I had two fears. Oh, we all have many fears. We get to choose which is the right one to hang on to. It was right for me to decide, I'll face the rooster before I want to face my dad. And in the same way, I hope this week what you'll be learning is I'll face the laughter of the crowd. I'll face some people saying, I can't believe you're going to do that. Because as a wise person who has been to the future via Proverbs, Channel 31, you're able to make wise choices and say, I'm going to honor and respect God because He knows what's really wise, the truly right choice. My prayer, that this week you dive in. I wonder if your Back to the Future older self, if they could tap you on the shoulder right now where you're sitting, wherever you are, and saying, listen, you're watching Impact Online? Here's my advice. Dive into some wisdom and listen well. Now, there's some discussion questions that I believe Dave Rubio is going to talk with you about. But remember, whatever is said, listen well and look for wisdom. God bless you guys.
Hey guys, David Rubio here, and I get to be your MC. And just like you, I don't know exactly what that means for this week. Obviously, this is a different experience. We know that some of you are alone in your homes, accessing this on your phone or on YouTube. We know that some of you are together with youth groups. Probably a bunch of youth groups around the country are doing that today. Some of you are alumni, some of you are parents, some of you are teenagers, some of you are preteens. But we are so excited that you get to plug in and grow spiritually this week. Have some fun and grow spiritually. So one of the things I'm going to do with you each night is help you process and or at least launch you out into the opportunity to process some small group discussions. If you're not in a small group and you're just alone, I would say, and this is going to sound cheesy and it's going to sound like a bit, maybe it's not, find a journal, find a piece of paper to process this stuff with. Answer these questions. Now, you can access these questions in a lot of different ways. I'm about to read them out for you, but you can also go to Impact LU, Instagram or Twitter. Your youth minister probably has access to these small group questions as well. Jeff, who has just delivered a keynote, has made available to us some discussion questions for you to use, and we hope that you'll use them. Now, I know I have read through Jeff's sermon notes. I have not watched his sermon. I'm going to watch it later tonight with you. But I've read through the notes for the sermon, and I'm thrilled. I'm so excited. It gets me so excited to think about what God might do this week with the book of Proverbs in our lives. You know, Proverbs is one of those books that kind of goes overlooked a lot of times with us Christians. Nobody overlooks the Gospels. You know, we never overlook these letters that Paul wrote to these individual churches that were trying to figure out how to do kingdom of God stuff in their local context. The heroes of the Old Testament, all those VBS Bible stories, nobody overlooks those. But Proverbs can sometimes fall between the cracks, and I love that we're talking about the power of wisdom and the importance of right and good choices. So what Jeff talked about tonight has already blessed you. Now he's given us some discussion questions to move forward with that I think will bless you as well. So discussion question number 1. What is one of the wisest pieces of advice you have ever received? What is one of the wisest pieces of advice you have ever received? I suppose from anyone, and this could be a person or something you read. What makes it so valuable? And then maybe share where it came from. So if it came from a mom or a dad or a youth minister or a best friend or a mentor of other kind. Number 2, Proverbs, the book of Proverbs, was written to share wisdom, especially for the young, which is what many, if not most of you are. Why do young people struggle to make wise choices? That's a good one. How can the wisdom of Proverbs help young people like you avoid that? And I'm just immediately thinking of answers to this that I would love to process with my own daughters and son and with the teens in my youth group. What are the obstacles to teenagers like you tuning into Proverbs? So what makes it difficult for you to tune into Proverbs? Those are great. And obviously, if you need to, you're watching this on YouTube, just pause, and then you can come back to this if this is the only way you've found access to access these questions. Jeff mentioned 3 truths from the first chapter to be wise. Recognizing God's authority is the start of wisdom. Choosing to listen and trusting God is often an unpopular choice. Those were the 3 truths. Which of these 3 do you think teens today need to heed the most, and why? Which of these 3 truths do you think today's teenagers need to heed the most, and why? Recognizing that God's authority is the start to wisdom, choosing to listen, or the truth that trusting God is often unpopular. Number 4. Which one of those? Number 4, Jeff talked about people wearing wisdom earmuffs. I haven't watched this play out, but something tells me this will be quite creative. Jeff is a master at creativity. Wisdom earmuffs that keep them from hearing godly advice. So how can you tell when you are wearing wisdom earmuffs that keep you from hearing God's advice? How can you tell when you're wearing them? And then, what can you do to keep the ears of your heart open for godly wisdom? So how can you know when you got wisdom earmuffs on versus how can you keep the ears of your heart open for godly wisdom? And the final question, this is question number 5. The most famous verse from Proverbs may be Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Doesn't fearing God keep us from drawing close to Him? That's a question. What do you think the writer of Proverbs had in mind when he used the word fear there? So when the writer of Proverbs said in chapter 1, verse 7, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, what do you think he had in mind when he used the word fear? And how do you react to this statement from Jeff's lesson? When you choose to fear God, you don't have to fear anything else. That's so good. And it reminds me of a few of our past impacts. Themes like unmasked or hidden. Things that cause us fear. Well, just the one we did on fear and anxiety and all these things from Fright and Fun. Former lessons that we tried to teach about fear. So how do you respond to this? When you choose to fear God, you don't have to fear anything else. Have you ever found that true in your life? And if so, share with the group or with your journal how you've found that to be true in your life. And those are our 5 discussion questions for tonight. And in just a moment, we're going to cover the impact rules. But before we do that, I want to say this about the book of Proverbs. One thing that Jeff mentioned in his notes that I've read is he said something along the lines of, wouldn't you love to have access to an older, wiser you. And I think that sums up what we hope to accomplish this week. Not just to make you an older, wiser you, although the truth is you're going to be older by Thursday of this week. Will you be wiser? I think that is up to you in some ways. But it's not just to make you an older, wiser you. It's to remind you that people that have gone before us, who are either alive, like your moms and dads, your youth minister, or people like the writer of Proverbs, who was in tune with the kingdom of God on earth, people that have gone on before and walked the paths we're trying to walk, paths that lead to flourishing and real life. People who've traveled these paths can be that for us because they've been where we're going, and they can say, don't take this step. So you have access to an older, wiser you, which is, of course, one of the things I'm sure Jeff brought home tonight in the talk. But I loved that idea, because if you could write yourself a letter right now, if the 48-year-old version of you could write a letter to the 14 or 18 or 11-year-old version of you and say, oh man, watch out, because next year you're going to go to school and it's going to get tough to follow God in this way or this way or this way. This is what this week is about, and this is what the book of Proverbs is about, helping you find that God path, that good path. So, okay. I hope that you enjoy dialoguing with the friends around you, or mom and dad there in your house, or just with a journal, these discussion questions. Now for the impact rules. Every year I do this with you. And by the way, adults, Chris Harrell will be doing a rules session for adults. He's also handing out t-shirts. If you could just make your way to Swing 108. Of course, I'm kidding. But somewhere Chris Harrell is wishing he was in an adult leader meeting right now. And teens, guess what? There's no rule. There's just one rule. Enjoy. Now, wherever you are tonight, there might be a rule about social distancing. There might be some rules for you if you're gathered with your group. And certainly, your moms and dads probably have rules in your home. But the only rule from us is just relax and enjoy and dig into what God has to offer this week. We love you. We're excited. Hopefully you know that by now. And I hope you have a ton of fun. And that's it. That's the only rule. Impact is now fully underway, and we are going to give this to God in Jesus' name. If you'll pray with me now, we'll do that in prayer. Lord, thank you for tonight. Thank you for every piece of tonight, for the togetherness that we feel, even though we're apart. God, I thank you for the individuals that have been baptized at Impact, just hundreds and hundreds of people over the years that have been baptized at Impact, who are this week going to get a chance to remember when they gave their lives to you. I thank you for the mentors that are out there who are either in person with or maybe interacting digitally through text and email with students. I thank you for that student somewhere, maybe even in a different country, who is trying to grow, has no one else in their life that knows anything about Impact, but is watching YouTube right now. God, a blessing on that person or those people, a blessing on all our groups, a blessing on everything that will happen this week is our prayer, and we give it all to you. We want it to be great. We want it to be funny. We want it to be fun, and we want it to be engaging. But Lord, even if it is none of that, or at least if it's not enough of that, or as much as we wish it were, we know that it doesn't matter, not ultimately. Because this week is yours, and our hearts and lives are yours. We open them to you to do what you would do this week. And it's in Christ's name that we pray, and we get ready for a great week of Impact. And in Jesus' name, everyone said together, amen. That's it. You guys have a great night. Enjoy your creature feature tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow.